Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Cam, and this is part two of a special thing I'm doing on my channel, reviewing something that the director of the film asked me to review, a cognac at the Indy 500. It is live on the League of Cinephiles YouTube channel for a special 2-week engagement starting December 22nd. And I am joined now by the director of said film, Alex Helmer, and the star of the film, who plays Nathan, Jack Wielar. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
So just getting into the film, first of all, Helmer, I greatly enjoyed it. It was a really well done film. Tell me kind of about the story inspirations, like what led you to this particular story of a cognac at the Indy 500? Why these themes? Take us inside.
Yeah, obviously, kind of there's a lot, especially when you delve deep into kind of the questions that this film kind of raises. There was a lot personal to me. Everything from kind of very physical, real world examples, like how kind of my entire life there have been kind of situations like this, but the most prominent one being kind of when my grandfather died on my mom's side, and I was young, too young to understand, but I was able to understand through my mom's reactions. And I was able to kind of deduce what she was thinking and what kind of, and I was able to, and there were some questions that I raised on my own about kind of these major kind of very grim things happening in my life at such a young age. And in this film, I wanted to explore, there's a lot of films out there that explore grief. I didn't really want to do that. I feel that it's kind of derivative of other kind of films. I didn't really want to mimic what everyone else was saying. I wanted to talk about kind of the kind of pre-grieving process and what that's like and the questions that that raises. So, yeah.
I've lost both of my grandfathers, so I can relate to the struggle right there. Jack, this question is for you. What led you to Cognac at the Indy 500? What about the script, like shouted at you, like, I wanted to do this?
Yeah, well, I remember the first time I read the script, like, all I could think was that this was the best script for a short film that I'd, ever read. And it really just, like, I guess the realness of it jumped out at me. It wasn't super, like, cliche with the way it was written. The things discussed in the scripts just, they really popped out at me. They were like really interesting, like the themes about religion and death and all of the things that happen in the film. They all really just jumped out at me, and I just really caught my eye.
Kind of springboarding off of the themes part of it, Helmer, this question is for you. Were there any particular movies that you based this story off of? I know the real life side of things, I know that played a heavy hand, but was there certain movies or certain directors that you might have pulled inspiration from that maybe led you in this direction?
Yes. So from a more kind of technical point of view, the film that mostly inspired it, and a film that continues to inspire me from a filmmaking point of view, is Stanley Kubrick's Barry Lyndon, which is, in my opinion, the most beautiful movie ever made. From a technical point of view, everything from what makes Kubrick who I think is the greatest of all time is his ability to take every single department that comes together to make a movie and just pushing everything together to make a film, right? And Barry Lyndon is a great example of that in this film. In Cognac, I tried a lot to mimic a lot of that work and to bring this lavishness to life and to kind of bring about a history within how the film looks that mimicked kind of a lot of the character, specifically the character of Buddy, what he was going through. And then more in regards to the themes, one film that inspired me that I can think of is Hannah and Her Sisters, which is a Woody Allen film. Now that it's a very comedic film. This film, although it delves into certain dark comedy, it's heavy on the drama, but there's a certain arc in Hannah and Her Sisters where Woody Allen's character is going through kind of a crisis where he almost like where he acknowledges the fact that he's going to die, and he tries everything he can to try to cope with that in terms of kind of trying to kind of convert to different religions, in terms of talking about his faith in Judaism, and kind of all of that, and coming to terms with death. which I think it's a very interesting topic to explore, because I think Coming to Terms to Death kind of really homes on who a person is actually made of.
Well, I loved the look of the short film. I loved the house. This is the Woodrow Wilson House in Washington, D.C., and I loved the look of the house. Was there, visually speaking, was there like a certain message you wanted to convey?
Yeah, I think I homed in on it on my last point a bit, but the history. It was all about the history. It was all about, I mean, the reason we started off the film with kind of the music along with the inserts of the house was to give off a kind of we didn't have to tell you about Buddy's history, kind of lifestyle. We could show you with everything that is in the house. This house is perfect. We were so lucky to be able to shoot there, and everybody, the location managers were also very kind of kind and very kind of willing to kind of to negotiate with us. Yeah, the house, we were very lucky to get it, and it is very emblematic of kind of the messages, character-wise and theme-wise, that I was going for.
Jack, this is for you. You're a relatively young actor, and Helmer is a relatively young director. What was it like working with such a young director? Was there a noticeable difference, or was it just, hey, this is the guy I'm working for? Age is just a number.
Yeah, I don't really, consider those kinds of things. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I showed up to the film to do good work. And, I mean, I guess you could say that there was like, noticeable moments where we're learning, Alex, and me both, honestly, just like learning what's, there's always problems that show up in shooting for films. And so, but yeah, I mean, honestly, as any director would, as well as any director would, I think Alex, handled them, as far as I can remember, pretty well. So
what I loved about the film and what I loved about the on-set experience, the best part for me at least, was kind of the learning experience, learning from Ron, who plays Buddy, who's kind of been acting for such a long time, and even learning from someone like Jack, who hasn't been acting for a long time. I feel like everyone has something to learn, especially from my point of view. This is my first film, and so obviously there are opportunities even after the film where I'm like, hey, I should have done that. This would make the film better. I should have done this. All these what ifs after we were done shooting. But at the same time, the film was kind of a learning opportunity, and so but I'm at the same time incredibly kind of proud of the final product.
I did want to ask about Ron Littman. He is not here, but I did want to ask. I was not a big fan of like his voice, like the voice that he gave. I'm just, my review is honest. I'm just being honest with you. So like, just telling it like it is. I'm not sure if I was a fan. Was that like a decision that he made, or was that a you decision?
That was a me decision. Me and Ron kind of worked collaboratively in order to kind of affect that. But I wanted to emphasize more than anything the difference both in culture, age, and culture between these two characters. Despite the fact that they are related, the fact that there is such a noticeable distance there between their relationship, and I thought the accent would be a good way of displaying the fact that they are much more distant than a more regular, more normal grandfather-grandson relationship.
Yeah, there's wisdom in that, and I'm trying not to come across as harsh. I thought that the performance itself was quite good. It just, the voice was like, why does he sound like Barbosa? Like what's going on here? But
I like the parts.
I definitely, I can definitely see where you're coming from with that. But with Cognac and the Indy 500 now live on your YouTube channel, it's very good. What does the future, and I present this to both of you, what does the future look like for both of you? Helmer, I understand that you've got a couple more things cooking. Jack, what all you got cooking?
Well, I mean, I'm just in high school, so that's, my main thing that takes up most of my day, but I I uh I do a lot of theater. Film is something I very much so enjoy, but theater is like my main I guess artistic it's the main thing I do, theater. So I'm always working on my skills for that, and that's something I most certainly plan to do in my life. But I've been over the past year and a half since we shot this film, I've been working on all of my skills, acting especially, and I'm really excited to just for the rest of my life, pursue all these different things, acting.
As a high school theater kid myself, I wish you nothing but the best. But Helmer, what does your future look like?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Jack is being too modest. He's absolutely wonderful. And I quickly wanted to bring up again, kind of in my young career, and I know kind of I have a lot of ahead of me, but kind of directing this man to the performance that he was able to give in this film, Jack specifically, and then Ron as well, but Jack especially with the awards acclaim that he's gotten. It's been the greatest single achievement of my young career so far. See the film for a lot of reasons, but one of the main kind of reasons you should is because of Jack's performance, not just because of someone of his young age, but of an actor in general. So I just wanted to get that off my chest because he is absolutely wonderful in this film as the character of Nathan. But in regards to me, I actually just got done shooting my second film, Old Man, which is very different from this film. It is about I won't go too into actually the plot synopsis because there's a lot, but it's a horror satire. It's bigger, it's crazier in certain ways, and it's a totally different genre. So keep on the lookout for that. But yeah, and then hopefully kind of more lies in my future after that.
Very good. Well, last question. This is for the both of you. Tell the people at home why they should spend their time watching a Cognac at the Indy 500 this holiday season.
Okay,
Don't.
I'll go first.
I'm just saying. It'll ruin your family. No, I'm just kidding. It won't. It won't. It'll just hopefully it'll make you cry before all the presents are opened. That's always fun. No, I'm just kidding. That's not fun.
Yeah, you should just watch this movie because it's just moving. I mean, the script it's amazing, and I think the way that it was filmed, directed, and trying to be humble, but I think all the acting in it too was amazing, and I think that it's just a really great experience, and I think something that people need to see because it's really well done.
All right, and Helmer?
Yeah, for sure. Just to see kind of like Jack said, I think the key word is moving. This film, kind of what we tried to do is kind of touch people with questions and themes that are relatable kind of for all people of kind of the human species. And so I think that's the biggest reason why, as well as just to see kind of artists who aren't kind of in the stream, who are kind of trying to progress within the industry and kind of to the best of their ability. And a Cognac at the 500 again, like Jack, I'm trying to be humble, but at the same time, it is a great watch that I think kind of everyone should lend. You let's be honest, everyone has 23 minutes in their day that they can spare, and so in that, if you're deciding whether to watch a rerun of The Office or Friends or watch a Cognac at the 500, maybe you should watch Cognac at the 500, and I don't think you'll regret it. And log it on Letterboxd as well,
Yes.
unless you're. Even if your review is bad, we love to see it.
Well, the link to the film will be in the description of this video, as well as the Instagram for League of Cinephiles, which is the channel that the film will be on. Go give that a follow. Go watch the film. Give it a like. It will only be on for 2 weeks, so the time is limited. So do yourself a favor and watch it. My review will be up beforehand, so I will dive into more of that by the time that happens, or well, this will be after that, so I don't know how time works, but it will happen. But all the requisite links will be in the description. Jack, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure to meet you. Helmer, it's a privilege as always. My name is Ryan Cam. We will see you all in the next one. Take care.